It's a delight to have you join us on the program TMI on the ITV network. A major story that is trending on all the major, some of the major daily, national dailies is the war of words between the presidency and former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar over the state of the nation, particularly as it relates to the economy. That should be expected when you look at the realities on the ground in terms of policies and programs initiated by the present government under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Those seem to be yielding the needed results. And then you also have the bigger challenge of insecurity overhang. I mean, just imagine that in a state to be precise, two traditional rulers were mowed down. And we saw in the papers today that a major suspect has been arrested. But I'm more concerned about the fact that we need to be more proactive than being reactive to deal with this issue. And joining me now is Reverend Phil Aroje, a public affairs commentator and analyst who is a regular on this program. Reverend Phil, thank you for coming on the program.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. Happy new month. Welcome. And happy new week to all our viewers.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we've been on this road before, but I've heard people say that 7 months down the line for the present administration is still a little bit too small to be able to start engaging them in terms of the demand, in terms of the criticism. So far, one of the most vocal person in terms of criticisms against the presidency and the present government is a former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar over some of the policies that has been initiated and some of the action that has been taken by the present administration.
Thank you very much. I think this is even the 8th month of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The PDP candidate, the former vice president, is speaking, but there are many more Nigerians that are speaking who are not being heard because they do not have the means to amplify their voice. Many more Nigerians are speaking through actions by taking off out of this country. Many more Nigerians are speaking by their actions, by the high level of crime that we have found now, especially the Ekiti challenge. You're talking even about Ekiti. A few days ago, right in Edo State here somewhere in Sabungedaora Aziz, a full bus load of passengers was ambushed by kidnappers, and they're taking the passengers were taken away. So the high level of crime and the high level of uncertainty, the high level of pains that Nigerians are going through at this time is enough for everybody to be speaking. I've been here more than 5 decades by the grace of God. We have never seen things this bad. And honestly, I think the country, the foreign exchange regime is on autopilot, or it's like a Dangote truck without brake. It's like a train without anybody controlling it. And it's unfortunate and it is sad. And for the presidency, or whoever speaks for the president, to come and tell Nigerians, like you saw in the dailies today, now this is what is in public domain, that the former vice president doesn't know what he's saying, that his political statement and all the rest. It means that they are not in tune with the reality that is on ground. How can you expect Nigerians to exchange $1 for 1,500 naira? That's the peak it got to, I think, on Wednesday, 1,540 naira on Tuesday. And we shouldn't talk. When you know that most of our consumption is imported, up to toothpick. So it means that everything we do is dollar-based. Our economy has been dollarized. Someone went to a shop, electrical shop, these are Nigerian cables, to get a price, 1.5 cable, electrical cable, Nigerian cable, that sold for 9,000 in April. As at Wednesday, sold for 20,000. Now, we went to reconfirm the price on Saturday is 23,000. I stopped at the shop, aluminum shop, on Saturday evening to ask for the price of aluminum profiles. The woman said, I won't give you price when you're ready to buy. And I said, just write it for me. We need it to make budget. These are real life stories in Benin. We want to use to make budget, have it discussed tomorrow, that's yesterday in church, look at the figures so we can plan with it. He said, no. Whatever I'm giving you now is for this very moment. Because you may come back later, the price has changed. So much uncertainty in the nation. And I don't think that the president has done well. And there is no hope that he's even going to do well. There's an African president that passed yesterday, and in the evening, I listened to your news at 6, and then they said Ngelale, Anjorin Ngelale, issued a statement on behalf of the president, talking about the man that passed. And in that news bulletin, it was mentioned that the president is on a private visit
to France.
How can you be on a private visit to France when you have a sitting vice president and your country is on fire? It's on fire. We have never had this bad. And that's why in the coming election in Edo State, nobody should tell me about political party.
Okay, we'll come to that point.
Nobody should tell me that. Nobody should tell me about APC or PDP or Labour Party.
Okay.
We must look at the individual. Because when an individual comes and he says, it's Emilukon, it's my turn to turn Nigeria upside down, I feel like weeping for this nation.
Okay, let me just pause it there before we really get emotional.
Yes.
I've observed keenly that if you go to a shop to buy something, like the instances that you gave, the sellers will tell you, okay, this is the price this morning.
Yes.
By afternoon, it could change. By evening time, it could change.
That's
now,
the experience.
Isn't this attempts by these guys in this business to exploit Nigerians, cashing on the situation to exploit Nigerians? I mean, if you buy an item in the morning and then you probably want to buy in the afternoon, the price has changed. I mean, doesn't it show that this is not about government policy, it's a reflection of the usual Nigerian syndrome of greed, avarice, and corruption, trying to exploit every situation?
Everything rises and falls on leadership. You just mentioned government policy. You should know better than I do. I should know better than most of us. Can you tell me, even if you're not supposed to answer a question, can you tell me the economic policy of this administration? We are directionless. There is no specific policy. There is nothing they have put on ground to say, okay, if we do ABC, at so time we'll get XYZ. So Nigerians can now look forward to it. There's nothing. So that's why I said the ship of the state, economic ship of the state, is rudderless, is without any pilot, the plane is without pilot, there's nothing working, and all the rest. So the people who are selling, it's a dynamic business. If I buy so-and-so, I sell so-and-so, putting up my markup. Okay. Yes, so if the man buys an item for 10,000 and he wants to sell for 10,500 or 11,000.
Yeah.
And then he hopes that when he goes back to market tomorrow, he'll be able to buy 10,000 again. But while he sold 10,000 in the morning, the people who went to Onisha to buy now tell him that the item you bought 10,000 yesterday is now 12. The man knows that if he sells for 11, he will not be able to buy another one. So he's not going to sell at the old rate he bought. He will sell at the new rate so that they can be able to replace.
To sustain the business.
It's dynamic. And since there is no hope that that thing that has gone up to 12,000 will eventually return back to 10, or that before he finished selling his stock, when he goes to market, would have returned back based on foreseeable economic policy of government, it will certainly go. It's speculation. It is real that dollar sold for 1,000 so and so. This president inherited dollar with less than, I think less than 700 or 500 or whatever it was between him and, we don't even know the difference between him and Buhari. We know that dollar was less than 200 naira when they took over in 2015. And as of today, and we were told, we were deceived. We were told that they were going to bring a change. We were deceived that, look, the former administration was clueless. We were told all the things that Emilokon used to campaign against as an opposition leader in those days are the things that he should implement now. We talked about true federalism. Even if somebody said there's nothing like true federalism, federalism is federalism.
Yeah.
We talked about it. He and his team, Nadeko and all the rest, were the champions for true federalism.
Okay.
Has anybody talked about that now? We talked about resource control. When he was in opposition, now he's in power. Is he saying anything about that now? Anything about that? We talked about Amotekun in the Southwest. We thought now that he's a president, he'll be able to make sure that the country is safe. But we are worse off. We are worse off. We thank God for what is happening, at least in Edo State. The security situation is not as bad. That in FCT, people are picked from estates. It's not that they were traveling on the road. They picked them from the estate. On the street of Port Harcourt 2 weeks ago, this happened to someone that is an in-law to my friend. On the street of Port Harcourt, the man had come back from work within his estate. He just came out, let me go and buy something across the road. He was on short and all the rest. He wasn't dressed, he wasn't traveling. They carried him and they demanded for 20 million. Eventually, after 1 week, the family was able to raise 3 million before they released him on the street of Port Harcourt. So they are not picking people like Snail and like Cherry and all the rest. That's how bad the country is. It's not only that Nigerians do not have money to buy goods, to buy food. We're talking about clothes now. Just something to eat. Do you know that bole, roasted bole, the cheapest one in Benin City is 200 naira? There's someone that sells bole for 500, for 400. And when you ask her, it's $1. And you don't blame her because it is from that bole she'll be able to buy that food items.
No, she said dollar.
It's dollar.
It's dollar.
That dollar has increased.
What's the connection between dollar and bole?
That's what I'm telling you now, because when she sells her bole, she's going to go to market to buy.
But bole is not, for crying out loud, it's not imported. That's a locally produced product.
Yes. She's going to go to market. That's her earning. That's where she earns her foreign exchange. She's going to go to market to buy rice. She's going to go to market to buy toothpaste. She's going to go to market to buy a detergent. So she has to also adjust her price. So that's how things are. What is government policy? What's the president's policy about this forest management? What are we going to do? Are we going to allow Nigerians die like this?
Phil, look at it this way. As part of measures to ameliorate the plights and sufferings of Nigerians, the federal government came up with subsidy palliatives to states and, across the federation. Isn't that something that should be commended, because we know that the vulnerable people are supposed to benefit from these palliatives? And then last year we saw about 35,000 palliatives being paid to federal civil servants, as it were. And this was supposed to be replicated, to have been replicated even at the state level, with funds given to state governments. I don't know what you make of this, because every now and then it looks like all attention is on the federal government, and then we leave out the states who are actually directly connected to the people in terms of policies and programs. Nobody ever talks about how states are able to execute some of these policies and programs, how they're able to take advantage of the policies and programs that the federal government has initiated to have direct impact on the people. Is this a concern to you?
How many civil servants do we have in the country? Obviously, it's less than 10% of our population. I'm talking of federal, state, local government, and public servants. It will be less than, I'm not sure we'll have up to 20 million public servants and civil servants. So even if you give them 1 million naira as a basic salary, how does that solve the problem of larger population of Nigerians? That's one. Which palliative are we talking about? Is it the one they are stealing? The one that Beta Edu, that has led her into trouble? All the people managing that palliative ministry, the PS and all the ministers, the previous one and this current one, they have all been involved in corruption and mentioned there. In fact, there was a memo that came out at that period when they were trying Beta Edu that had the signature of the chief of staff to the president, authorizing the withdrawal of 3 billion naira. It was a public document from a certain account for a certain other purpose. So how do you justify that? when most of the items, most of the things, services that affect Nigerians are purely on the exclusive list of the federal government, how do you blame the state government and the local government for what they have done, what they have not done? One, at the end of every month, the state government gives cap in hand to Abuja to beg for money. When the money is generated from here, and we go to Abuja to go and beg for money to be able to, it is what they give to you. And if you're in opposition, they won't give you anything. And Edo has suffered that affliction all these years. From the time when we were in opposition at the federal, when now the party that was in our state, the APC, now went to the federal, we also came back to opposition at PDP. So we have always suffered. That's why there is nothing happening in Edo State. Sonny, you can paint. The reason I'm paying is because of the responsibility I have. Apart from being a pastor of a local church and a family man, I have the responsibility of over 3 million Edo youths as the chairman of the youth wing of PFN and the director of Women, Youth and Education Development of CAN. I used to be chairman of youth wing of CAN, but responsibility took me to a higher level. Now director, everything that has to do with campus. Like last week I was in Lucerne Polytechnic to address a group of Christian students there. Everything I have to do with students on campus, Christian, I have direct relationship with them, direct responsibility. Over 3 million Edo people I have to interact with. Are you aware, as wicked as this government has become now, that there is no provision for the Benin Ekpoma Awuchi Road in 2024 budget? Only 200 million naira. And who should know better than the senator that is representing us, Senator Adam Soshomole, who have to take the minister to the cleaners? 200 million naira. How do you mobilize? And as of today, the budget for 1 kilometer of road is 1 billion naira. So if you go to Ekpomasa, there are valleys on the road, 3 points that can swallow a trailer. Yeah. I'm not exaggerating. Yeah. Yeah. The one is before the campus, just before the main campus gate. One is before Big Joe, and another one is by Moscow Junction. Yes. Three spots. 3 valleys. 3 valleys on the express that can swallow a trailer. When you put a trailer there, you can bury a trailer there and continue your journey. And no provision in 2024 budget for that road. That is wickedness. Because so I don't want to judge by Rivers or other state. I'm talking of our state. Before you now come and blame those state government, they have their own share of the problems. Yes, but before you come and blame them for this directionless policy of federal government, you need to also know what has the federal government done here. What have they done here? What's the policy on ground? I just talk about road now. You know the implication of that? People who live around Ekpoma, people who are going to travel through that road, you and I who have to go on that axis. Once the rain starts, after 1 month of rain, that road will be completely impassable. Yeah. We are not seeing it now because the rains are not there. Because we're in the dry season. I drove my car through that road on Friday. On Friday afternoon, I had a meeting. I'm the chairman of the medical students parents consultative forum of AAU. I had a meeting on Thursday and Friday, and I drove my car there. I couldn't see up. I was inside the valley. I left the campus. I drove through there. If there was rain, I can't go through that place. The affliction will increase. Nigerians are being afflicted by this administration, and I'm not scared to say it. I have children. If we don't speak now, we'll be blamed later for not saying anything. Yes. Will be blamed later for not saying anything, and they don't have access, the privilege I have now with you. I can come here for a live interview. So I am speaking on behalf of the suffering millions of Edo people and Nigerians in general. We have never had things this bad. I am not here to criticize any government, but I'm here to state the obvious. And if it is better at your end, come on now, let's discuss about it. Okay. Tell me what has improved in the last 15 years. I mean, in the last 8.5 years. Tell me what has improved. Was it not better to have the clueless government we had before and still have rice for 10,000 naira a bag? Sir, do you know how much I spend buying petrol on daily basis? Not just to drive my vehicle to come out and honor this invitation and attend meetings and attend church service, but for me to even have light at home. Where I live, I don't live in the village anymore. God has helped me, and I live in Benin. I used to live at Uhunde. Now I live in Benin. I live at Oredo. In my house, I use a prepaid meter. I have 300 units of token there. In the last 1 week, it is still 296. Only 4 units consumed. No light, no public power supply. So for us to have light, I must buy petrol at 670 naira
per liter.
660 naira per liter. And they will also cheat me. Because I take my small keg to a filling station, it will be 10.9 liters.
Yes.
I'll take it to another filling station, the same keg, it will be 12 liters. How wicked some Nigerians have also become. The same keg.
Yes.
Some filling station will be 10 liters, some filling station will be 12 liters. They will also cheat me in addition to selling high price. So everybody is afflicting Nigeria.
Double tragedy.
Yes. One, I told one attendant, I said the anointing to slap somebody is on me now. I feel like slapping somebody here. Corn oil, Sapler Road. One night, I said, I feel like slapping somebody here now. He said, why? I said, because this same keg. Yesterday was 11, it was 10.9 liters.
Yes.
Now your filling station is 12.9 liters.
Yes.
You are cheating me with 2 liters.
Yes.
In addition to selling 660. I feel like slapping somebody now. Before they will say the man of God is fighting. But this is the reason. This is the reason. The frustration, if not for the grace of God, the anointing, that is keeping believers, you would have seen a lot of mad people on the street of Edo State and in Nigeria. Because of the affliction Nigerians are going through. The average family does not know where the next meal is going to come from. They don't know. They don't know. And that's why you don't want us to talk about Edo State.
No, I do. I just thought we should go.
The next election here now is critical.
It is.
And anybody that will go and collect money and sell off